Good morning, everyone. It's Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com here in the thumb of Michigan. And my special guest today is Katie Kieffer. And is that how you pronounce your name? Because
Yes.
it was the name of one of my most favorite teachers in elementary school. It was my first grade teacher, and I had moved from another school to several weeks in, so everybody already knew each other, and I hadn't gone to kindergarten with them, and she was just a delight. And I was in the same school building until seventh grade, so got to see a lot of her, so that was cool.
Nice.
Anyway, I am the founder of rockingyourpath.com, Fast Action Fridays, and the Bridges to Success programs. I show writers and artists, coaches and consultants, and other service-based professionals who are eager to start and run a profitable home-based business how to find more time, more money, and affordable resources to rock their unique path to success, how to overcome obstacles and hidden barriers, and how to prosper with passion and purpose. And Katie, you offer a diversity of roles, including for homeschooled mom, because this is part of you, right? Homeschool mom,
Yeah.
wife, minister. I'm also a licensed minister here in Michigan.
hmm
A theta healing practitioner. Now, I know what theta healing is, and I'm anxious for you to explain that. And self awareness master coach. Katie's mission is to help others heal so they can pursue their passion to whole life prosperity. Clear mind, clear heart, clear path to prosperity. And we'll be sharing your links in a little bit, which is awesome. So, give us the short definition of what a theta healing practitioner focuses on or accomplishes, the solutions you do.
Okay. Well, theta healing is it's a meditation technique, and really what we do is we look for the hidden subconscious blocks and programs that can be causing a problem. So you can be doing everything right, and then well, things still aren't going the way you want. They still aren't flowing nicely. You may see improvements, but it's because there's a block in there. And so what we do is we go and we make shifts and changes with the energy work to remove those
Right.
blocks and bring in virtues and give you the supporting beliefs and subconscious programs that you need and want. Well, we can't do that without your permission, so you have to accept it and receive it. So it's not like we can
Right.
just take you and do whatever we want. But
All right, I'm going to ask you to speak up just a little bit. Make
oh,
sure
okay,
so everybody can hear what you're doing. Now, I'm an EFT practitioner, so we use tapping to get into those energy blocks and stuff.
right.
What method do you use, tapping or some other method?
No, actually, a session actually looks like a conversation more than anything else. It looks very much like a conversation, and I ask questions, so we look for the bottom belief, and then we ask for that to be pulled, and I witness the energy shifting, and then we bring in. So if and we use muscle testing as well to find beliefs, and I have a little ebook on muscle testing to teach you how to do it.
Hmm.
Very easy, very quick to learn. But then we bring in, I mean, it looks like a conversation. And I just connect in with the divine and ask that it be done. And it's done, and it works. It's
Hmm.
interesting. The biggest key that I have found, though, is that we really do need to find the benefits.
You're right.
And sometimes I found that people just miss that little part. They don't know yet. And so it's really important to find out, whatever is blocking you, what was the benefit you got, or what was the benefit maybe your ancestors got, because maybe it doesn't
Right.
benefit
And
you,
what
but
you're
it
talking
helped
about
them.
is when when things aren't going the way you consciously want them to go, there's often that block that you don't want to acknowledge, and there's a
Right,
benefit in that block.
right,
It's what keeps a lot of people experiencing domestic abuse
right.
in their home lives there because there's a certain amount of safety in knowing what to expect, even
hmm
what to expect is something terrible.
Right,
It's less scary for a lot of people than going into the unknown.
right,
And once you accept responsibility for what you see is happening and the changes you want to make, then you can actually do something about it.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, sometimes we are in very deliberate denial because we know the minute we accept that reality, it's our responsibility to do something to change it, right?
Right. Right. And that
Right.
can be really
Wow.
challenging. It
Right.
can be. It can be really challenging to take a good look at yourself.
Right. Right.
So learning how to do so that just it is without any judgment and without any expectation is really helpful, because when you can get to a point where you can look at yourself and go, "Oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay." And you can just be objective and really be the observer of yourself. That is hugely key. I cannot express how much that has helped me. The number
Mm-hmm.
one question I have learned to ask myself is, what is in my vibration that allows this to exist in my reality? And sometimes it gets a little convoluted because we project things, and then other people play out our projections. And I've found that in my family a lot. My husband played out lots of my projections, and I'm still finding stuff, and I'm sure I'll still be finding more as we move along. And same with my children. So it's just very, very interesting. So being able to, that's why the self-awareness master is about that, is about being able to take a look at yourself.
Right.
And
Right. So
and
I know you've got some tips for us to do that. And here
mhm,
on Fast Action Fridays, these are tips that you can actually implement in 15 minutes or less. And
mhm,
often they're tips that you want to do more than once or do in other scenarios, or
mhm.
they just are awesome to repeat over time. And so, why don't you
Right.
take us through that, and then we'll get back to more question and answers.
Okay. Really, to take a look at yourself is it's really just recognizing what you don't want. And one of the big things, especially as women and especially as mothers, that happen, and I'm sure that there will be men here, so this can definitely help them to understand the women in their lives and maybe even some of their own behaviors and actions. When we do the mundane things, doing the dishes, we take a shower. I mean, especially if there are small, very small children, somebody in the house, it's a miracle if they can take a shower that day.
I remember
So,
those days.
so I mean, even now, my children are teenagers, but building a business and all these different things that we're doing, and we homeschool, and so they do really well on their own as teenagers. But still, I have so much going on that I have been known to forget to take a shower. I mean, I didn't feel bad, but I'd be like, it would have been nice. And so
Right.
getting that is important. And so what I really do to help keep track of what I'm doing is I have started writing down, and I started on January 1st. I've done it almost every day since then, which is a big win for me. That's unusual for me to stick with something like that. And so that's a nice change I'm seeing. What I do is I write down everything I do in the day on average, especially the big things. If I take a shower, that's my self-care. I fix my husband's lunch almost every morning before he goes to work. That is something I do for our relationship. I usually make dinner. Um, my son cooks some. My husband does not cook. And with four of us, going out to eat gets really expensive. So, making dinner, that's something I do for the family. Making business calls, setting up appointments just to talk and get to know somebody. All of those things get written down. And it shows me what I did during the day.
So do you write them down as something you want to do, or as you're doing them as confirmation that you're taking care of each part of your health and well-being?
Yeah, it's not a to-do list. Occasionally, if
Okay.
there's some things I really want to remember, I'll put those over in the margin to say, yeah, I really want to make sure that these things get done today. But
So it's
I
a
took,
done list.
yeah, instead of a to-do list, it's an I did list.
Okay.
And so that has been majorly helpful in really me valuing myself and what I'm doing. Because I would go through my days, and the end of the day comes, my husband comes home, and the house is a mess. I didn't get the vacuum run. And especially now, we have 5 cats and 2 dogs. We are full of hair. And it's shedding season. So running the vacuum daily would be good. It doesn't get done daily. But when it does get done, and I'm the one who did it, it goes on my list. And I make
I
sure that
can,
I thank my children and my husband for the things that they do, because they do step up and help. And
right.
so that's really the biggest thing, the biggest action I have taken. And another action I have taken is in asking what I can do for them. Sometimes it is too vague. I'm still learning how to ask them in a way that I can get actionable feedback from them. But what makes them feel loved? What makes them feel valued? And so I can kind of work that in and start swirling that in a little more, even if it's just a couple days a week.
Hmm.
Later on this afternoon, I'm going to be playing Wii with my daughter. She's really in need of some mommy time. She's going to be 13
Hmm.
here soon. My husband's at work. My son spent the night with a friend, and so it's just the two of us here today. And so we're
Right.
going to take a little time for us.
And
And
that's good. That reminds me of what I learned from Stephen Covey, especially in his trainings for 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Having that everyone has basically 7 different areas of their life, and it's important to do something positive and conscious within each of those
hmm
areas each day. And that helps
yeah,
provide balance. I'm glad you
hmm
mentioned a couple of things. One, that you acknowledge and try to do it verbally, acknowledge those in your family and what they do to contribute to various things for their well
hmm
being, for the home life well being, for the family's relationship well being, as well as just for themselves. That's really important because it could get, I know people who have done a I did list and kind of use it as a guilt trip for others. Look at all I've done today,
yeah,
and don't acknowledge what other people are doing. And then the second thing I heard from you was that it's how important it is to ask others what you can do for them as well. Did I
yeah.
get those right?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And really, the third biggest key, and this is one I'm still working on myself, it's becoming clearer and clearer as I go along, but it's what do I need to feel valued and loved and to stay on my path? What do I need? So I need my family to be happy. And so I go into meditation and prayer. And, I need my family to be happy. I need my husband to be happy. Because when he's not happy, boy, none of us are happy. Yeah, he's he's a double Pisces. So, and he's
Oh,
very
yeah.
gentle,
So
but he's very, very interesting in
we
how.
affectionately call Pisces the whiny Pisces because I'm married to a Leo, and they have their challenges just as
hmm
fellow cancers. We have our challenges as well.
Yeah.
Every sign has its
Oh yeah. Oh
ups
yeah.
and downs.
I drive my
Absolutely.
husband nuts. I'm a double Sagittarius, and so
Wow.
blind optimism and blind faith is a big part of who I am, and it's really helped me get where I am. But I've also had to be able to temper that with mindfulness, and I've
Yeah.
learned to do that more effectively. But that is one thing. He's like, "Really? Are we doing this again?" Yep, I'm going. Here I go. Love you. Bye. I'll see you in a little while. And so, really knowing and figuring out what I need, and not just in meditation, but to also understand what I need from my family. I need my children to help with the dishes. I need them to help with the chores. They're home. We homeschool. They're, they are making a mess during the day. It's just part of it, and I'm fine with it, but they need to be able to clean up after themselves. And so they're learning. They're teenagers. They don't want to do it, but they are learning and they are getting better. And so knowing that I need that from them and asking them and learning how to ask them in a way that really draws forth the best in them is that's getting better. It's
Right.
it's
And
still
And not
Yeah,
just because you need the help with those things. Those are life skills that they need themselves to go forward.
right.
So, if your husband doesn't cook, does he contribute to? How does he contribute in other ways to the family? Like, does he help with dishes or cleaning? And
Uh, if my husband does dishes, we have praise all around because he does not do dishes. I think he's done dishes maybe 3 or 4 times in 14 years.
this isn't the thing,
But
huh?
he does help with the laundry, and he does do. I mean, he does tidying. I mean, I'll go out and pick up our CSA and do some grocery shopping and come home, and he's got the island cleared off, and so he'll tidy up and he'll vacuum. And there's a lot of things he does do that is really helpful.
Right,
So
right.
a lot of times
For
he
those,
doesn't get laundry
I
put
want to I
away.
want to stop you just for a second. For those who don't know what CSA, and Katie and I haven't discussed this, I just happen to know what
Oh
it
yeah,
is. This is what your certified organic products and locally grown products that
yeah,
you're probably in a food co-op type thing, right?
yes, yes, yeah. Community sustained agriculture.
My husband, Chef Dennis, wrote What No Dishes. Now, I happen to be married to a professional chef who's got a lot of medical problems right now, so he doesn't cook as much. But dishes for him is one of the things he loves to do because he uses it kind of as down meditation time.
Mm.
So I'm one lucky gal.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you are. Yeah,
But,
I.
you know, it's if you've got somebody, I mean, if I absolutely hated, I don't like doing the shopping. So I miss my husband who loves to shop going out and doing that, you know. So when he's well, I don't think about that. I appreciate that he goes and does that. And it's the same thing. If one spouse just truly does not like to do a particular thing, work around it, you know. Don't
Right,
always insist on what that is because you're just going to run into it's just not going to work out that way, you know. There's
right.
got to be that give and take. All
Yeah,
right.
that. Go ahead.
I want you to give a summary right now, and then I've got a couple more questions for you. So,
Okay. A summary, really taking a look at yourself and asking what's in your vibration that allows things to exist is really important. And you can just be in stillness just for 10 or 15 minutes and start looking. You can start. And as you do that, then as you move through the day or the next day, if you do it at night, things will start showing up. You go into meditation and you ask, what is this? You'll start getting answers. And so ask for them gently, because if you ask to be slapped upside the head with them, you will be. And
mhm.
then making an I did list. And this, I don't share my I did list with my family. I mean, they can look at it if they want to, but I don't go out there and go, oh, look at what all I did today. I mean, if I'm really
Mhm.
proud that I got 4 web pages up and 2 things submitted, which I did last night about 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm really proud of that. I might say, oh my God, I got it done. They know I've been working on it, but it's not in any way a guilt trip. It's for me to value me. It has nothing to do with them. That is for me. And that's part of self awareness is that I can look at that and honor what I did during the day. So even if it means that I ended up getting takeout for dinner instead of cooking dinner, look at what I did do and okay, I am accomplished. I can feel that accomplishment. And asking my family what they need from me to feel loved and valued. And also, again, in meditation, asking myself, what do I need? And not just from them, but what do I need in my life to support this? And then whatever manifestation rituals you do or prayer, however that looks, just asking for that to be drawn into you in a way that's really loving and kind for everyone involved. And it will start to show up and it will all come into harmony. And so
Can you give
another.
us a practical example of what you might want to look at when you ask yourself, and an example of you know, what kind of answer to look for? I know when I teach intuition, a lot of people are waiting for this big, bold message to come through with absolute certainty that it's the right thing and you're interpreting it right. And I said, no, 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 no. The best intuition is subtle and
Yeah.
it's what it means to you personally.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you give us some examples of when you're meditating and what you might ask for and the type of thing that reply you might get?
When I'm looking for what I need, I will get very quiet. I'll go into meditation. I connect in with the divine. And usually I know something of what I need. So if I need to be able to have quick and easy meals on the table, so I'm not doing takeout so much because I know I have a really busy week coming up, I go and say, all right, how can I make this happen? And I go in and it's very quiet. And usually I don't get answers during meditation. Most of the time I get them later. I go into meditation and ask, but then I do have to pay attention. Recipes will pop up. Or I'll get a coupon for something. I'm like, oh, I can do this with that particular ingredient. And so that's how it works for me, is that things will just start showing up, and it's synchronicity. It's confirmation.
Right. And recognizing that something is coming in, and you kind of directed. You didn't specify exactly the information you want, because a lot of people try to do that, or try to define what the message is so they recognize it. And it's like, no, that's outside your capability to say, you're going to see a white feather today, meaning mom, or a red rose, or 3 pennies, or whatever. You can't do that. You just have to be open to what's coming in, because those messages are there all the time. You're just ignoring the obvious, because it's meant for you only, and then you're looking for something else. Wow.
Right. And it's really interesting, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just really need some support. I need just that little extra time. I need that extra 20 minutes during the day. And next thing I know, things shift, or something goes faster than expected. And there it is. I'm like, oh, cool, here we go. And it really is more about being aware and being open to the possibilities, and being connected with, that this is what you sent out to the universe, and then allowing the universe to show you. Because when you do that, you will always get it in the highest and best way, and it will be easy. When you try to dictate all of the details, you set yourself up for a lot of heartache, because all it does is close you off.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have the seat open if somebody'd like to join in. Maury, you're welcome to join us. Cindy, you're still there. I know Dennis is still here, but I'm not sure he's in a position that he's able to join us. But if you have a question or a comment or something to share with us about claiming your miracles, listening to your intuition, doing things throughout the day that help move you forward in a positive way. Katie, I know you're a real fan of the term harmonious prosperity, which I think sounds so lovely and easy, especially for someone like me who can't sing a note on key,
Well, it really is about getting all the areas of your life in harmony. And I was in on a business coach call, and my business coach said something about, what 3 things can you do every day for your business to grow your business? And I went, I wonder if I did that for everything in my life, that's how I'm going to get the harmony. Because I have a tendency to get very tunnel visioned. I can tunnel in on writing something, writing copy, writing a blog post, writing an ebook, or whatever it is I'm doing. I can tunnel in so much that my kids don't see me for hours. And they're teenagers. It's not the end of the world for that to happen. And if they need me, they know they can come in and talk to me. But I can get so tunnel vision that I don't make dinner. And so when I started writing down the I did list, it helped me to see where I'm out of balance, where I need a little more balance. And sometimes it is. I think it's James Earl Gray. He's on The Secret.
Yeah. Or John Gray, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah,
John Gray is the one that did Mars versus Venus. And James Earl, I don't remember his name. I know I've met a few of them,
Yeah,
but
his name is
we can
escaping me,
look
but
that
he
up.
did one on. He's got this video on. I think he called it harmonic wealth,
Hmm.
and because
Okay.
he was talking money, but he was like,
Hmm.
sometimes you lead with your family life, sometimes you lead with your business, sometimes you're going to lead with your self care. So during the dark moon, I lead with self care most of the time. At least I have one day, because during the new moon, I usually have a day where I'm just like, I can't do anything. I have to get quiet. And if I fight that, then it's not doing anyone any good. So when I honor that for me and I make that day or those 3 days more quiet, I am leading that particular time with self care. And when I come out of that, then I can go right into family and business. And I can do those together, usually pretty well. And they're in balance. People are always
Hmm.
looking for balance and balance and balance. Harmony is actually a bit more accurate because we're not balancing two things. We're balancing several facets of life. Friendships, our romantic relationships, our children, our friendships, business relationships, networking. All of these are all aspects of our life. And getting those in harmony is really, really important for everyone to be happy. It's not your job to make anyone else happy, but if you're not happy, those around you typically aren't either, because that's who you're drawing to you.
Right.
So when everything starts working in harmony, the happiness can come in. You can relax into the flow. When you know it's okay for you to have a day where you're like, I can't do anything but
Yeah.
sit and do a marathon on Netflix.
Right.
It's okay. And
Um,
so, go ahead.
yeah. I'm a big proponent in that happiness is a choice that you have to
Hmm.
decide that choice to
Yeah.
be. And to go along with what you're saying, you choose those things that you need to make you happy. You make those choices. So yeah, I have those down days. Now, some people would say, well, yeah, but if I do a whole binge day on Netflix, it's not really serving me and I'm going to be feel guilty about it. Then you've got to look at whether it was a choice that you were
Mhm.
making to help keep you happy or whether you were procrastinating something else and it really had nothing to do with your happiness at all. You
Right.
were just assigning something as an excuse for avoiding what you really wanted and needed to look at, right?
Right, right. And that's if there's guilt involved, there is definitely something to look at. And again, doing it without judgment. That means, okay, so you binged on Netflix and now you feel guilty. Just honor that you allowed yourself that time, because that guilt is showing you that there's something there to
Hmm.
look at. And that's really important to self awareness. Whenever it's coming up, it's really okay.
Well, I have been sharing as we've been talking some of the links for you, your website, and on Facebook for both of us. Dennis went and looked up the name we needed was James Arthur Ray, he says, and that kind of
Okay.
sounds like it. It's been a while. I'll have to pull out the secret. It's time to watch that again.
Yeah, I need.
And I love the messages in it, and I love that a lot of people get that you just don't sit there and ask for prosperity and have it just delivered on your doorstep. You actually have
Right.
to take actions to move yourself
Hmm.
towards it.
You do.
And what you focus on, more of that comes into your eyesight and your energy
Hmm.
fields. Just like buying a new car. I don't care what kind of car you buy, you will suddenly see that color, that model more and more often as you're driving around. Well, it's because you're focused.
Yeah.
Those cars were always there, but your focus is now on noticing those things because they have a similarity. They're foremost in your mind at that time. And it's the same with subtle things as well. and you can really focus. I know Dennis and I, with medical problems, our finances have been taxed to the limit, like many, many people. And when we focus only on the bills due and stuff, it just seems like the mail's just full of more and more and more.
Right.
But when you look at the reality of what you owe and what's going to be coming up in the regular day-to-day living, but you focus on how am I going to meet these in a positive way, suddenly a dollar seems to go farther, or another client comes in, or you see an opportunity to take advantage in an area you really want to do. So I love that you talk about how that adds into, harmonious prosperity and doing. I'm letting Maury Brooks in. He's got the allergy code. Thank you for joining us today. And this is the first time I've ever met Maury. So where are you calling in from?
I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
New Mexico. All right. Well, I'm here in Michigan. Katie, you are, where are you at?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm in the
North Carolina.
Area.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to add to the conversation today, Maury?
The whole idea of, I guess we were talking about intuition before a little bit. Mm-hmm. And, I'm finding the power of intuition in working with allergies and healing is really profound. In that I've suffered my whole life with. Pardon?
I can hear him. Your settings may need to come up a little bit. Now I can hear you fine, Maury. So.
Okay, is that better, Katie?
Maybe just speak up a little bit louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that better, Katie? Just give me a thumbs up when it's better. Not yet? Okay. My input volume's turned all the way up.
And I can hear you fine.
Yeah. No? I'm watching Katie's
Yep, Cindy can hear you fine too, so it must just be something on Katie. You don't accidentally have his little microphone muted in his bottom corner, do you, Katie? No. All right.
It's
listen to the replay to find out what he says, and I'll relay to you what it is.
Okay, thank you.
We're talking about intuition, Maury.
Anyway, I'm finding that intuition can be my compass in picking foods to eat successfully. I grew up chronically allergic to everything. And now I don't worry about labels anymore. I mean, I do use them as a precaution, but I could pretty much go to a party and pick what I want and be safe, using my intuition every step of the way. So I know the power of intuition's like huge. And yet I'm trying to get it to work with it in business, but it's a whole nother realm. It doesn't seem to work the same way.
Now, see, now you're into my category because I teach intuition for success and how to recognize those things. Dennis is giving you props for that because he has a little trouble, and I still do, but you have to be very conscious. And what I teach is how to recognize what's actually going on and how to interpret those things. I have a program called Conquer the Confusion, Connect to Your Intuition with Confidence, because I'm a strong believer that we are born with intuition as one of our natural senses, that it's not something extra that some of us have and some of us don't. We all have it. And if you look at a baby, you look at a child, they're dealing from intuition right from the get-go. And well-meaning adults in their lives usually squash it about age 3, 4, 5, and 6, when the child is into storytelling. And we start helping them understand what's, quote, true and what's not true. And they suddenly learn that it's not safe for them to always share what they're feeling intuitively. So that's cool. You need to send me, I'm going to put a link in the chat, Maury, and why don't you schedule a free strategy session with me, and we will talk about that intuition for business thing.
Oh, great. Thank you.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. I will be back at 1 o'clock with my co-host Steve Henry for our Freebie Friday show. Steve and I are on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. We do Motivational Mondays. We do What's Up Wednesday. And on Fridays, we do Freebie Fridays. This has been Fast Action Fridays with Kat Sturtz and my special co-host guest today, Katie Kieffer. Make sure and check out Katie's links that are in the chat roll. She's got some awesome things to share. Thank you, Katie, for working out your little issues and getting online with us today, and looking forward to having you in a return visit. Maury, I hope you come back. I'd love to learn more about what you do. I'm not allergic to foods. I'm finding out right now some of the food intolerances I may have. But I am allergic to a lot of medications, and they've come close to killing me sometimes. So I'm very careful with them. So
well, I cut out
thank
all
you, everybody.
45 years ago.
Thank you for having me, Kat.
You're welcome, Katie.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.